Have you ever looked at another wife in your husband's life, or even the idea of her, and thought, she's got something I don't, and I'll never catch up? Maybe you tried to silence that voice. Maybe you've told yourself you should just be grateful. But deep down, you still feel the sting. I want you to know this. You are not broken for feeling that way. You are human. And in polygyny, those feelings can be louder than anywhere else. This podcast is about turning down that noise and replacing it with something stronger. Progress over perfection. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. And welcome to the very first episode of Progress Over Perfection in Polygyny. I'm Coach Nyla, a wife in polygyny, a relationship coach, and someone who's walked through failed relationships, deep insecurities, and that shadow of always feeling second, not just in life, not just in title, but in worth. I've created this space so we can have the conversations that are often whispered about, that's hidden or pushed down, and instead bring them into the light. Not for drama, not to bash, but to grow. Here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect to have peace in polygyny. You don't have to fake it or force it or be her to be valuable. What you do need is the willingness to take small, consistent steps toward the version of you that you respect first, and then others will follow. Each week, we'll talk about the real emotions, jealousy, comparison, insecurity, and how to turn them into stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. We'll explore what it means to communicate, to connect, and how to protect your peace in a shared marriage without losing yourself in the process. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to share why chasing perfection in polygyny will leave you more exhausted than fulfilled, and what to focus on instead if you truly want to see growth in your marriage and in your relationships, as well as yourself. So grab your tea, coffee, and that notebook you keep just for your thoughts, and let's get started. Okay, let's be real. Perfection in polygyny is a moving target. One day you might feel like you finally got a handle on your emotions, and then a rotation change, your husband makes a different decision than you expected, or your co-wife does something you weren't ready for, and suddenly you're right back in that storm. Here's what perfection whispers to you. If I can't just keep it together all the time, if I never show weakness, if I don't get upset, then maybe, just maybe, I'll finally be respected, loved, or secure. Did you hear that? Yeah, be whispering that to you. But here's what actually happens. You start performing instead of living. You stop being honest with yourself because honesty might reveal something messy, right? And then when you're constantly trying to hold it all in, resentment builds. The truth is, perfection in polygyny is an illusion. Even the wives you think have it all together, sometimes you guys think that me and my co-wife may have it all together. We're having our moments behind closed doors. We don't have to show you everything. But see, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. And progress is different. We never told you that it would be easy. We never told you that we've had it all together. So just like me, my co-wife, and other wives who are in polygyny out there, we're working through the progress. And that progress is a journey. So let me tell you how progress is different. Progress says, I may not be where I want to be. I may not be where I want to be yet. That's the key word, yet. But I am not where I was. Maybe 6 months ago, hearing about something your husband did for your co-wife would have sent you into a spiral. But today, you took a breath, you felt the emotions, and handled it with more grace. See, that's progress. Or maybe you used to avoid conversations with your husband out of fear it would turn into an argument. But now you will initiate a calm discussion about something that matters to you. That's progress too. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to get it right every single time. You just have to keep showing up for the next small step. Now, let me give you 3 mindset shifts to replace perfection. Shift 1, honesty over image. Whew. Instead of trying to appear okay, give yourself permission to admit when something hurts. That's okay. You're human. We hurt sometimes. That doesn't mean you unload every detail in a destructive way. Okay? Don't do that. Don't just vomit over everybody or even your husband about that. Okay? So you don't want to unload every detail in a destructive way. But it does mean acknowledging your truth before you try to fix it. So don't rush to do that. When you're honest with yourself, you can address the real issue, not just the surface reaction. And when you do that, you're going through that progress. It's an internal journey that you're taking. And when you're only doing something on the surface, the same thing will come back. So when you're doing that deep work, that's where the progress happens. Let's go to shift 2. Curiosity over comparison. Comparison says, she's better, I'm lacking. Or like my kids say, I'm cooked. Curiosity says, what is it about her that I admire? And how can I grow in ways that align with who I am? This keeps you from trying to copy her life and instead inspires you to develop your own strengths. Now let's get into shift number 3. Consistency over control. In polygyny, a lot of things will be outside of your control. And I know you know this. Those who are already in it, I know you understand this. Schedules, decisions, even other people's actions. Even if you're not in polygyny and you're dealing with children or anybody else, that's pretty much the same thing. We can't control other people. We can't control schedules. Sometimes even decisions we can't control. But you do control what you do consistently. See what I said? What you do consistently. We can only control what we do. Whether that's consistent self-care, consistent respect and communication, or consistent spiritual grounding. See, those habits build stability in you, even if things around you shift, even if it's all over the place, even when things get crazy, right? So let me give you your first progress over perfection challenge. For the next week, I want you to keep a progress journal. So if you brought one and you're writing in it now, use that as your progress journal. If you don't have one yet, that's okay. Just get one just get one today, tomorrow, soon, okay? So you can keep that progress journal. And each night, write down one moment where you handled something just a little bit better, just a little bit. It don't have to be a big jump, just a little bit better than you might have last month. It could be a calmer tone, a quicker recovery after a trigger, a moment you stayed silent instead of escalating, or a moment you spoke up when you normally would stay quiet. People pleasers know what I'm talking about. Don't judge the size of the step. Just record it. Don't judge the size, just record it in your journal. By the end of the week, you'll have proof. Proof is important because you can go back and look at it like, oh, look at how I'm progressing. So you will have that proof that you are moving forward, even if it's not perfect, because that's not what we're going for. We're going for progress over perfection. Remember, love, peace and polygyny isn't about perfection. It's about progress. And progress comes from showing up for yourself over and over again in small ways. And those small ways can add up to big changes over time. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your takeaway. So send me a message or connect with me on Instagram. And that's at Instagram is Outstanding Relationships. YouTube is Outstanding Personal Relationships. TikTok, Outstanding Personal Relationships. Can't talk. TikTok is Outstanding Personal Relationships. And let me know the progress. And also Facebook is also, we're all over the place. So Facebook is Outstanding Personal Relationships as well. So make sure you check us out and reach out to me there. As well as you can also check me out at Coach Nyla as well. So do that and let me know the progress you noticed this week. And if you're ready to take this work deeper, to go from managing polygyny to thriving in it, my coaching program is where we do all of that together, step by step. And you can learn more at CoachNyla.com. Next week, we are talking about one of the biggest emotional roadblocks when jealousy hits hard, how to feel it without letting it consume you. Until then, give yourself permission to be in progress and watch how it changes everything. Assalamu alaikum.